Hello everyone and welcome to another incredible game from round 4 of this year's FIDE World Cup. It's the tie breaks and it is Péter Lékó versus Arjun Erigaisi. Both of them are very well known. I don't think anyone needs any introduction here. But for those of you who are maybe new to chess, Péter Lékó isn't really that much active as a player nowadays. He mostly commentates, but some 20 years ago he was about Arjun's rating. He was world number 4, I think, in 2003, and maybe a little less than that, maybe 2760 something, but yeah, definitely in the top 5. He is still an incredible player. He can play against anyone, crush anyone, very rarely loses, and he's definitely one of the elites. So this is not an easy matchup, regardless of Arjun being more than 100 rating points higher rated. But the two classical games ended in a draw. Wasn't really that difficult for either of them. The real question here is how will Péter do in rapid time format, and if it goes beyond rapid in blitz. So this is one of the games that I decided to show you from the rapid section, and it's really a wild one. So let's dive straight into it. Péter with white opens with pawn to e4. Pawn to e5, knight f3, we have knight to c6 and bishop to b5. Ruy Lopez is on the board, and pawn to a6, Morphy's defense. Bishop to a4, we have bishop to c5, pawn to c3, knight to g to e7, and pawn to d4. Okay, pretty standard stuff. We have captures, bishop to b4 with check, bishop to d2. And we have a trade of bishops. Bishop captures, queen captures, and pawn to d5. Now, e5 really does look to be the move you want to play, but everyone plays e captures on d5. Gaining that tempo on the queen with knight c3 is very, very relevant. And also, if knight captures on d5, then you can play bishop captures on c6. You can castle, you can play knight to c3. So it's all been played before, and it's all been super analyzed. So just queen captures on d5. We have knight c3 attacking the queen, and queen to e6 with check. And here, almost everyone goes queen to e3, but Lékó says, no, I came here to play chess, plays knight to e5, puts pressure on the c6 knight, and avoids the queen trade. And there are a handful of games in the database with this exact same setup. Castle's kingside was played, castle's queenside by Péter. We have knight captures on e5, and now rook h to e1. This is how you will recapture. Queen to b6, we have rook captures on e5, knight g6 attacking the rook, and there is one game where rook to e3 was played. Here we have rook e back to e1, and it is now, as of move 16, that we have a completely new game. Bishop to e6 by Arjun. This is the first move where Arjun actually spends some time, drops from 15 minutes to 11 minutes on the clock, and this is, believe it or not, where Péter burns half of his time, well, almost half of his time. He plays pawn to h4. And look at this, the time from 15 minutes to some 9 minutes. Incredible stuff. And the question is, what can Arjun do about this? If he goes pawn to h5 to stop h5 by Péter, then the queen g5, and it just looks weird. In fact, it looks terrible for black. So you have to accept the challenge and open up the h file for those rooks. Arjun captures on h4. And now, what's amazing to me is that, and I've seen a lot of players do this. They they burn so much time preparing a move, and then their opponent plays the most expected move, and then they start burning more time. And now Péter burns again half of his time, almost, and drops down below 5 minutes. Rook to h1, attacks the knight. So, I don't think it's maybe that weird, but you played it. Obviously, you had something prepared once your opponent plays the most obvious move. But, I've seen people do this, like Vasily Ivanchuk does this all the time, and there are other players too. So, yeah, okay. Rook to h1, we have knight back to g6, and pawn to d5. Now, of course, you don't move the bishop. It's time to get the rook into the game. Rook a d8, and queen g5, moving the queen, threatening to capture the bishop on e6, and now Arjun plays pawn to h6. It's sort of a dare, because you might be thinking, and I know your barbarian brain also kicks in. You're looking at rook captures on h6, looks excellent. Knight e4, knight f6, that's game over. Unfortunately, it doesn't work, and it doesn't work because after captures, the black queen just enters the game, and that's it. Now queen f4 check will trade queens, and even if you go knight e4, you don't stop that. Just queen f4 check, and you trade the queens, and that's pretty much it. You do win the bishop back, which is something, but you're still going to be down too much material. Captures, knight captures on e6. You're down in exchange, and also down a pawn. So after pawn to h6, we have queen to h5, and now just bishop back to d7, offering a trade of bishops. And of course, Péter doesn't want to trade. He would very much prefer that bishop on b3 or on c2, and maybe somehow get the rooks into the game, whichever way is possible. The problem is that moving the bishop runs into a pretty forced queen captures on f2. And now you're just not in time. For example, d6, you open up the bishop's diagonal, you are threatening queen captures knight on g6 as the f-pawn is pinned. Again, queen f4 check, king b1, and queen f5 check will force a queen trade. So that's the problem for Péter, as that king is too exposed. So he has to trade. Bishop captures on d7. We have rook captures, and now rook to d2. The rook will help out with the defense. This is guarded. This is guarded. You might this knight can easily come to e5 to c4, put pressure on b2. So the rook on d2 is very well placed. We have rook to e8, and now pawn to g3. You would very much like to play something, but that knight coming to f4 just seems annoying. So knight to e5, again, with idea of knight coming to c4, we have queen to f5. And for example, f4, knight attacks rook, let's say we go rook to c2, rook d to e7, and you're just not in time for any pawn pushes on the king side. Rook e1, the knight covers d2, b2, it's game over. So after knight e5, queen to f5, and now queen to g6. Arjun finds the most precise way to continue the game, as now avoiding the queen trade, you just run into knight to d3 check. If you put the queen on f4, it even comes with a nice royal fork, so you would have to give up the rook, and then you just lose. So unfortunately for Péter, he has to trade queens. Queen captures, we have f captures, now with ideas of g5 and g4 to keep that pawn on f2. b3, stopping knight to c4, and now knight to f3, attacking the rook, rook d3, and rook to f7. So, okay, defending the knight and just enjoying his extra pawn, with Péter having really no compensation here. We have king to d1 and pawn to g5, knight to a4, and now pawn to b6. We have pawn to d6. You would prefer to keep that pawn, but it doesn't seem like it's ever going to be a pass pawn, so you might as well activate your rooks. Pawn captures, we have knight captures on b6, and knight to e5, attacking the rook on d3. Rook captures on d6, rook captures on f2, and the rook to d2, stopping the capture on a2. Knight g4. Now, you can't really trade because knight captures comes with a fork, so you have to figure out how to play this. Knight to c4. Now, even though Péter is down a pawn, he might create a pass pawn on the queen side and advance it, and this pawn might be able to at least postpone the advancement of the black pawns on the king side. So rook f3 going after g3, rook to g1 defending, and pawn to h5. Arjun's pawns start advancing. Rook to d5 going after the g5 pawn, and now knight f2 check, king to c1, and rook to e2. Now preparing for the other rook to enter the game as well, and not a lot of useful squares for Lékó's king. We have knight to d2, attacking the rook, but just rook to c3 check, king to b2, and now knight to e4. And he was in this position on move 40 that Lékó Péter resigned the game, as there is nothing more to be done here. The knight is hanging, and there's no good way for you to capture or, save it. If you go rook to d1, okay, you can defend it, but then just rook captures on g3, then you're down 2 pawns, and these are now 2 connected pass pawns. Just advancing the h pawn is pretty much it. If you unpin, black can immediately trade everything, captures, pawn to h4, pawn to h3, rook g2. There's no stopping that pawn. So yeah, after knight to e4, Lékó resigned, and Arjun won the first game. And in the second game, where Péter had the black pieces, he launched an attack. He went all out, but it wasn't enough. And Arjun didn't even play all that precisely. He was constantly giving away his advantage. He was just satisfied with a draw, because a draw means that he gets to eliminate Lékó. And that's exactly what happened. In the end, he even won the game, but yeah, it was a pretty weird game. So I decided to show this one. I preferred this one to that one. Maybe that one is better if you watch it live. This one is better for an analysis. But yeah, Lékó Péter eliminated from the FIDE World Cup in round 4, and Arjun Erigaisi advances to round 5. And for those of you who don't want any spoilers, stop watching now, because I will now talk about what happened in round 4 and the pairings of round 5. So this is it. Let me just make that a little bit larger. Frederick Svane defeated Chan Sargsyan, and he will be facing Javokir Sindarov, who defeated Yuan Yi. Hari Krishna defeated Nils Grandelius, and he will face Jose Martinez, who eliminated Alexis Sarana. So a pretty big matchup there. Incredible to see, Jose Martinez getting this far, but, the way he's playing, he can take down anyone. Will be definitely a problem for Hari Krishna. But Hari Krishna playing such incredible chess, I'm just here to enjoy the show. So Pranav got eliminated by Nodirbek Yakuboev, and Awandra got eliminated by Gabriel Sargsyan. So Nodirbek Yakuboev will face Sargsyan. Liam Le will face Alexander Donchenko, who eliminated his countryman Matthias Blubaum. But okay, Blubaum is also in the candidates already, so still a chance for Donchenko to qualify for the candidates. Daniil Dubov eliminated Pragnananda, and Sam Shankland eliminated Richard Rapport. So it will be Daniil Dubov versus Sam Shankland, also a pretty big matchup. Alexei Grebnev eliminated MVL. That was a pretty big surprise, and he will face Andrei Yesipenko, who eliminated Vincent Keimer. He defeated him in both games of the tie breaks, and the highest rated German player in world number 4, Vincent Keimer, is out of the World Cup. So with him out, only Frederick Svane and the Donchenko are representing Germany, still with chances of qualification for the candidates. And with Blubaum already qualified, we have a possibility of 3 Germans in the candidates. Okay, we have Wei Yi. Wei Yi defeated Parham Maksulu. It was a pretty crazy match, going into tie breaks. Everyone was at least once winning, lost, drawn, and in the end, Wei Yi was able to take him down. Then we have Semsevian. Semsevian defeated Lorenzo Lodici. Lorenzo Lodici played incredible chess, and he eliminated so many strong players, Wesley So, Michael Adams, and now he almost eliminated Semsevian, but Semsevian was better. Levon Aronyan defeated Radoslav Wojtaszek, and Arjun Erigaisi defeated Péter Leko. So we will have Levon Aronyan versus Arjun Erigaisi in round 5 of the FIDE World Cup. Definitely want to follow, and probably the one you guys want to see most. But yeah, Frederick Svane eliminating Chan Sargsyan. It's incredible to see him get this far, and I'm very much looking forward to what he does next, what all of them do next, because we basically have only 2 2700 players getting all the way here, and they're facing each other now, Levon and Arjun. But yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of pairings and results. Maybe in the next video we can also talk about some shifts in ratings in the top 20, top 30. But we'll see how it goes. So yeah, that's the game. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I was hoping for a match between Lékó Péter and Vincent Keimer, as Lékó is Keimer's sort of teacher, and that would be a great matchup, and I think would be interesting. I mean, anything could happen, but it'd definitely be interesting. But both Lékó and Vincent got eliminated, unfortunately. So yeah, really hope you enjoyed it. I would like to thank Ivan Sterling, Udo Brandt, Almighty, AnimalSanctuary.org, Eddie Fair, and David Gasparian for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing to check up on your wonderful suggestions and whatever else happens in the chess world. So thank you all. I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your day.